Alright, hello everybody, Aaron with Guns and Stuff, and today I have my Scar16s. Now this rifle has been getting a lot of attention lately, mainly because it's been used in Fortnite and in PUBG. So at the range I work at, we have two of these Scars that are just getting rented out like crazy just because these people are playing these video games. So it's kind of cool how you can see how different forms of media can drive the prices of guns. So I've had this for about a year now. What ended up happening was I needed money, so I sold it, and then once I got my financials back together, I purchased it back from the guy that I sold it to. So thankfully it worked out and I got my rifle back. So I called FN, and this was actually made in 2009. Now FN started releasing these to the civilian market. It looked like the end of 2008, early 2009. So I have one of the first production runs basically of it for the civilian market, which is pretty cool. So I guess what ended up happening was somebody bought it, right, and let it sit in their safe for, what, 8 years, and then sold it, and then I purchased it from the guy that they sold it to. So this was somebody's safe queen. So I mean, it is in excellent condition. Like, there is no issues. I have one blemish on the lower right here, and that's not even a problem. I've seen a lot of Scars lately. I will say that mine has the lightest color receiver that I've seen out of any of them. Like, it was so light that when I purchased it and me and Connor went to the range, we're like, it looks fake. Like, it looks like an airsoft upper receiver with Scar parts put inside of it because the finish on it isn't very good. But yeah, pretty much what I want to do is just, show some footage of me shooting it and then talk about the things that I've done to it and then things that I will do to it in the future.
Contact far, contact far. Move, move. Take cover, take cover. Contact close, close. Reload. Contact far. Contact far. Move, move. Contact close, close, close. Very close.
So if we're talking about aftermarket parts, I've actually changed nothing on this. The only thing I've added to it is a foregrip. I haven't changed any of the internals. It's got complete ambi controls. Now, Karbolyn Noir said it the best when he was talking about Glocks. He said people go Glock perfection, yet they change the barrel, the slide, the trigger. So I kind of feel that that's the same way for the Scar. Everything in here is perfectly fine. Like, I've had zero issues with it. Why would I change anything? I know a lot of people like to change the trigger because you can get a Super Scar trigger, which it is really nice. However, it's like $300 and I don't need it. The stock trigger does the job for me perfectly fine. So as for upgrades, there's a couple different companies that work with the Scar specifically because it's not just like an AR-15. You can't just drop AR-15 parts into it. So a couple of the big ones would be like Parker Mount Machine and Striker Industries. Both of them make specific Scar parts. Again, I don't really have any interest in purchasing any of those at this time. If I do, I will let you know. However, in the future, what I do have planned is I'm getting my barrel, because it's at 16 inches right now, right? As soon as my SBR form is approved, I'm chopping my barrel to 10 inches. This is because I purchased a Sandman S suppressor, and that's roughly a little over 6 inches long. So if I put a 6-inch suppressor on top of my 16-inch barrel, I'm sticking out there far. And because I like to do a lot of movement with this firearm, I just couldn't have that extra length on there with the suppressor. So I'm gonna chop the barrel and then I'll have that suppressor on there. Now the question is whether or not I wanna keep my ACOG. So right now I have a TA-31 with an American Defense quick detach mount. Now I really like it. I can pretty much engage targets pretty good between 50 and 300. The problem is the 100 to 300, super easy to do. But when it comes to quick target acquisition for me, anything closer than 100, it seems a little bit slower than using a red dot.
not a professional.
So I'm considering getting rid of the ACOG, maybe not getting rid of it, but taking the ACOG off of the Scar and purchasing like a Comp M4 or a Comp M5.
We got the Scar17, Aim Point Pro on top. We're gonna run some ammo. She's perfect. This gun is perfect. I love it.
Yeah, so the biggest dilemma is between either the ACOG or an aim point. Like you saw in that video, I used an aim point on Connor Scar17 and I really liked it. So I think it just makes more sense when I have a 10-inch barrel to go with a compact red dot instead of the ACOG. So I also had the Trijicon RMR on top of my ACOG. Now I purchased the RMR when Cabela's was doing their big deal. So it was stupid cheap, like it was a really good deal. But when I had the RMR on here, I'm not sure if it was the recoil impulse of the Scar or if the RMR itself was bad. But during certain shots, the battery in the RMR, I think would move the battery inside of the RMR and it would cause it to shut off. So if I was using it with the RMR, it would shut off and then I'd have to switch to my ACOG. So that's not something that I want to happen, right? I want a nice, reliable piece. Now the ACOG's not gonna shut off, that's how it is. So if I were to get something, that's why I'm considering more of an aim point or something that I can just leave on all the time. In the past, I owned the Trijicon MRO, so that's also another possible option. Now, one thing is the sling points on the Scar are really soft. So I have just a Magpul sling that I use, and I use it as a 1 point. But when I have it on here, it chews up the metal on these sling points a little bit. So I know a lot of people go with the aftermarket parts like I was saying, so you can use a quick detach. But we'll see if I do that. I haven't decided yet. So it's kind of hard for me to speculate how many rounds have been through this because myself, I've shot probably 3,000 rounds through it. And the person that had the rifle before me, I have no idea how many rounds they put through it. And then the original owner that had it, I have no clue either. For all I know, it could have sat in their safe and they could have never used it. However, what I will do is take this apart and show you the insides so you can see what it looks like. So yeah, I mean, the insides of the firearm looks good. I don't have that much wear on it, which isn't surprising. Basically, this is a new rifle. I mean, it's almost 10 years old, but it's still in like new condition, I think. So one really funny thing is this in the front had never been cleaned. You're able to regulate the gas and it wasn't even able to move like I just moved it. So I had to like spray a bunch of cleaner in there to break up all the carbon and then knock it and take it out. So I'll show you the photos of what the inside of this looked like, but I don't think that had been cleaned for at least 9 years. I don't think the owners before me ever cleaned that. So that's really cool and I'll show you the photos of that. It's insane that it was still working with the amount of carbon buildup that it had inside of it. That just shows the reliability of this firearm, and that's why I like it so much. So yeah, other than that, the internals of this firearm are perfectly fine. I'm not sure if they use different coatings or anything on the inside. When I called FN and asked if there was any differences between the one that I have from 2009 until the ones that are still coming out in 2018, FN said, and from their technician told me, they don't know of any changes that have been done to the rifle. From other people that I've talked to in different groups online, they have said that there have been very minimal changes, but nothing major to the overall firearm. And again, that just goes right back to the reliability of it if it's still going on. Something else that's really cool with the Scar16, and this is specific to the 16, the Scar17, you can't do it. So on the Scar16, you can use standard metal mags, perfectly fine. You can also use, I'm not going to put it in because I have ammo, but you can also use PMags. Now you do have to use the newer generation PMags because the older generation PMags, they would have a piece of plastic in the back here and the Scar bolt would get chewed up by hitting it. So yeah, my Scar16 is almost 10 years old. Again, I haven't used it for 10 years and definitely does not have 10 years worth of use. However, it was manufactured in 2009. If you know any more information about the Scar16, leave it in the comments below. I'm not an expert, I'm not gonna pretend to be. So if you guys are into fitness at all, or if you're a caffeine hound like I am, this energy drink is made by Merica Energy. It's called Red, White, and Boom. The flavor of this is Let's Make America Great Again. Like, come on, that's funny stuff. So stop drinking Monster, try these out. These are really good. I mean, it's got 0 calories, 0 sugar. I mean, it's a good energy drink, definitely is. So check them out. I'll leave a link in the description below. Also, I purchase all of my supplements from Bullfrog Nutrition. It's a local shop to me. So if you're into fitness, because fitness and firearms definitely goes hand in hand. If you're into fitness and you're looking for new supplements, or you just want some more information on stuff, and you're local, definitely go to Bullfrog Nutrition. What you guys can do is also follow them on Instagram and ask any questions that you want to. I've got a promo code, and I'm gonna leave that in the description below if you wanna order from them online. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.